Luigi Mangione, the United Healthcare CO murder suspect, pleads not guilty. What's next in the case? The latest. What we know about Luigi Mangione, suspect charged in United Healthcare CEO's killing. New details are emerging about the case against Luigi Mangione, the man indicted on murder charges in the deadly shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City. The 26-year-old, who was identified earlier as a person of interest, was arrested on firearms and other charges in Pennsylvania on December 9 after being spotted at a McDonald's in Altoona amid a massive manhunt for the shooter. Here's what we know about Mangione. He waived extradition to New York to face new federal charges. Mangione waived extradition to New York in a Pennsylvania courtroom on Thursday, December 19, where New York City police detectives were waiting to accompany him back for an afternoon appearance in a Manhattan courtroom. Federal prosecutors also filed 4 new charges against Mangione: murder, using a weapon with a silencer, and 2 counts of stalking, in addition to the 11 state charges filed by the Manhattan District Attorney. The federal charges could make him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. Mangione was ordered held ahead of his preliminary hearing, which is now set for January 18, CBS New York reported. He is now in federal custody at Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn. Attorney Karen Friedman Agnifilo, who was a high-ranking deputy in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for years before entering private practice, has been retained to represent Mangione. Her law firm, Agnifilo Intrader LP, confirmed in a statement to CBS News. He was charged with murder in New York. Mangione was indicted on a charge of murder in the first degree in furtherance of terrorism, Manhattan prosecutors announced December 17. He was also charged with 2 counts of murder in the second degree, with one of the counts accusing Mangione of killing as an act of terrorism. First-degree murder charges in New York are usually reserved for the killing of law enforcement officers. Mangione was also charged with several lesser felonies in New York, including criminal possession of a weapon. A spokesperson for District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office told CBS News that Mangione's arraignment on the 11 charges will be Monday, December 23. Police say suspect's mother said shooting might be something that she could see him doing. Speaking to reporters on December 17, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said that before Mangione's arrest, his mother told an FBI task force that the shooting might be something that she could see him doing. The task force contacted Mangione's mother on December 7 after a San Francisco police sergeant looking for Mangione alerted the FBI in San Francisco that the person of interest in the shooting could be him, Kenney told reporters. Mangione's mother had filed a missing person report with San Francisco police on November 18. The FBI's San Francisco field office passed the information on to the task force in New York. He was not a United Healthcare customer. The New York Police Department told CBS News that there are no indications that Mangione was a United Healthcare customer. Officials believe Mangione may have targeted the company because of its status as the largest health insurer in the United States. He may have traveled to Pennsylvania by train. Following the shooting, investigators have said that the suspect fled into Central Park on a bike and then took a cab to the George Washington Bridge bus station in Upper Manhattan. While investigators initially thought the suspect may have left New York City on a bus that departed from the bus station, NYPD Assistant Commissioner Carlos Neves told CBS New York on December 12 they now believe the suspect took the subway line back down to Penn Station in Midtown, where they are looking into whether he traveled by train to Pennsylvania. The NYPD was working with Pennsylvania State Police and Altoona Police to track Mangione's movements while he was in Pennsylvania. His notebook says he considered using a bomb, sources say. 2 law enforcement sources told CBS News that authorities recovered a notebook from Mangione at the time of his arrest. The sources said in the notebook he wrote that he considered using a bomb, but decided on a shooting because it would be more targeted and would not put innocent lives in danger. While in custody in Pennsylvania, Mangione has not made incriminating statements to NYPD investigators, according to police. His fingerprint smash prints found near shooting scene, police say. Fingerprints found on a water bottle and protein bar near where Thompson was killed matched the fingerprints taken from Mangione when he was booked into jail, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said on December 11. Police also told CBS News that fingerprints on a phone found at the scene are a match to Mangione's. Investigators also matched a ghost gun that police found with Mangione in Pennsylvania to 3 9mm shell casings from the shooting in New York, according to the NYPD. The fingerprint match was first reported by CNN. It was the first publicly announced forensic evidence linking Mangione to the crime scene. The NYPD received over 400 tips to its Crime Stoppers hotline about the case. All of the tips were vetted, and police said 30 were helpful. The New York City Police Foundation was offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information and will vet the tips to determine who gets the reward. Separately, the FBI offered a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction. What do police believe was the motive for the shooting? Investigators' working theory for the motive behind the shooting is animosity toward the healthcare industry. The NYPD said it appears Mangione suffered a debilitating back injury on July 4, 2023, that required a visit to an emergency room and subsequently screws on his spine, according to images posted on social media. According to the NYPD, Mangione was in possession of notebook paper that had handwritten notes that expressed disdain for corporate America, in particular, the healthcare industry. Mangione was spotted and arrested in a McDonald's. Mangione, who police said went to Pittsburgh and then Altoona after leaving New York, was arrested at a McDonald's after a customer alerted an employee who called police. Officers questioned Mangione, who they described as acting suspiciously. According to court documents, the Altoona officers found Mangione sitting at a table in the back of the McDonald's wearing a blue medical mask and looking at a laptop with a backpack on the floor near the table. When the officers asked him to pull the mask down, they recognized him from photos released to the media. Mangione was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs and a U.S. passport, Tisch said at a news conference. One of the IDs matched the fake New Jersey ID that the shooting suspect used to check into a Manhattan hostel before the shooting, the commissioner said. When the Altoona officers asked Mangione for his ID of the McDonald's, he gave them the New Jersey ID, according to an affidavit submitted with the criminal complaint. When one officer was checking the ID with dispatchers, the other asked Mangione if he had been to New York recently, and Mangione became quiet and started to shake, according to the affidavit. Mangione provided his real name after he was told he would be arrested if he lied about his identity, according to the affidavit. When an officer asked Mangione why he lied about his name, he allegedly said, "I clearly shouldn't have." Officers found a gun and a suppressor that were consistent with the weapon used in the shooting of Thompson, Tisch said. Police said the gun found in his backpack appeared to be a 3D printed ghost gun with a loaded Glock magazine with 6 9mm full metal jacket rounds and a 3D printed silencer. Clothing and a mask consistent with those of the suspect in the case were also recovered, police said. Mangione was charged December 9 with 5 counts in Pennsylvania. Forgery, firearms not to be carried without a license, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of crime, and false identification to law enforcement. New York filed a murder charge later that night. Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens said Mangione was initially cooperative and then stopped cooperating with investigators. Held without bail at hearing. At an extradition proceeding on December 10 in Pennsylvania, Mangione was denied bail. As Mangione entered the Blair County Courthouse ahead of the December 10 proceedings, he was aggressive and had to be contained, shouting that what was happening to him was an insult to the intelligence of the American people. While inside the courtroom, he quietly mumbled and mouthed words while sitting at the defense table. Luigi Mangione, a suspect in the New York City killing of United Healthcare executive Brian Thompson, arrives for an extradition hearing at Blair County Courthouse in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, Dec. 10, 2024. At his office, Dickey told reporters December 10 he hadn't seen video footage of Mangione's outburst but said, "Hopefully, there won't be any more of that." Dickey said he was hired to represent Mangione and not appointed to the case. He wouldn't identify who hired him, and he wouldn't comment on what Mangione has said to him. Dickey said Mangione would plead not guilty to the Pennsylvania charges and said he'd advise Mangione to enter the same plea to the New York charges. Asked to clarify what specific charges Mangione would plead not guilty to, Dickey said, "Every charge. Remember, and this is not just a small thing. The fundamental concept of American justice is the presumption of innocence, and until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and I've seen zero evidence at this point," Dickey said. Police say Mangione had handwritten note expressing views, a 3-page handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset, was also recovered from Mangione when he was apprehended by police, according to Tish. NYP sources referred to the notes as a claim of responsibility, where Mangione attempted to justify his actions. Mangione wrote that the U.S. had most expensive healthcare system in the world, but lamented that the country ranks number 42 in life expectancy, according to NYPD sources. Mangione also referred to corporations as mafiosa that have gotten too powerful, and said such companies abuse the United States for immense profit. He wrote that others had shown a light on corporations' corruption and greed in the past, and claimed that he was the first to face it with such brutal honesty. NYPD intelligence officers believe Mangione might have been inspired by Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, with a handwritten note reflecting a similar mindset. Kenny told reporters that officials don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document, but NYPD sources said police are concerned about the risk of extremists viewing Mangione as an example to follow. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro expressed this concern during a news conference December 9 and strongly condemned both the murder and those who celebrated it online. "The suspect is a coward, not a hero," Shapiro said. "He worked at TrueCar, has Ivy League degree." According to his LinkedIn account, Mangione worked as a data engineer at the car buying website TrueCar. But a company spokesperson told CBS News that Mangione hasn't worked there since 2023. Mangione graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2020, a Penn spokesperson confirmed to CBS News. He received a Master of Science in Engineering with a major in Computer and Information Science, and a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, majoring in Computer Science with a minor in Mathematics, the spokesperson confirmed. While at Penn, he worked as a teaching assistant and founded a video game development club, according to his LinkedIn account. At Stanford University in California, Mangione was a head counselor for a pre-collegiate studies program during the summer of 2019, the university said in a statement to CBS News. Mangione appeared to suffer from severe back pain. Mangione's last known address was in Honolulu, Hawaii, Kenny told reporters. The Surf Break co-living community in Honolulu told CBS News that Mangione had been a resident at the location in 2022. Sarah Nehemiah, who knew Mangione during his time at Surf Break, said he left the community in April 2022 due to a lifelong back injury exacerbated by physical activity on the island. According to posts on his Reddit account, Mangione's back pain had been persistent for several years and worsened after surfing in Hawaii in 2022. Nehemiah and other members of the Surf Break community lost contact with Mangione after he left, she said. R.G. Martin, a close friend of Mangione's in Hawaii, told CBS News that Mangione was often social except for when he was in severe pain. There were times where he would kind of hide out and I'd only hear about it afterwards, but he's one of those people that was such a gentleman, Martin said. He never complained. He would only tell me about things after the fact. Martin said the pain inhibited him from doing a lot of activities he wanted to, but said Mangione was active when not in pain. Martin grew emotional during the interview. "I just feel heartbroken. You know, somebody that I loved and cared about," Could have done something so hideous, he said. The background image on Mangione's X account shows an X-ray of a spine with hardware in it, reflective of previous surgery. It is not known if this is an X-ray of Mangione's spine. An orthopedist told CBS News that the image appeared to show a hardware fusion, likely for a condition called spondylolisthesis, which is when a vertebra slips out of alignment. Mangione referenced the condition on Reddit and other social media accounts. Mangione said on Reddit that he had spinal surgery in July 2023. In October, he indicated that the operation had gone well, saying that he was taking zero pain meds and hadn't had a bad day since the surgery 8 days before. If you enjoyed from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching.